Hello everybody. Well, tonight I'm going to use a product that I've not used on a shaving video before. I'm going to use the Art of Shaving Unscented. Now I've had some questions which prompted one of the last videos I did on making crope about using essential oils and fragrance oils to enhance creams. And I said that a lot of times an oil, even just a little bit, added to a cream will water it down, make it loose, and you'll have to dry it out. Let it dry, let it evaporate a little bit. I wanted to see how this was going to work. This is a little bit thicker. You don't have to use as much. But also too, I'm going to use a technique that I've used before. And I've still got some glycerin that I've put Grapefruit Essential Oil in. And then also too, I've got the Corn Huskers Lotion that I've added Grapefruit Essential Oil to. And essentially these two are the same thing. There's not a whole lot of difference. Their consistency is pretty similar. The Grapefruit glycerin is a little bit thinner than the Corn Huskers, but I'm going to add a little bit of both to this. I'm also going to use a razor I haven't used before. I really have. I've used a short post style of the EverReady, and this is a long post, and this is one that had some issues. Right here, the little post, as you can see there, the post that you stick your blade under, that one had broken off. It was usable in that way. I just had to push down the top cap of this, which is like that. And this one, I took some marine sort of JB Weld type putty and put that on that little post and extended it a little bit, and it's helped some. And this is the first time using it after doing that to it. But I like the way that post comes down. This is a little bit longer handle of the EverReady. I think it's one of the longer handles. I think they have a shorter handle. It's about that high. That is more of a travel size. But to start off, I'm also going to do something else that there's been some talk about, and I've done it in the past. But I'm going to do a cold water shave. And cold water shave is not that much different than a hot water shave. It's just a little bit different sensation. I'm going to use my 28mm Pure Badger brush. I've already put on some Grapefruit Corn Huskers as my pre. I've washed my face. I used warm water to wash my face. I'm just going to take what's on the cap of this with a damp brush, and I'm just going to put some in there. Not a whole lot, just a dab, kind of the standard almond size piece. I've got cold water in my sink. I'm going to put a little bit of cold water on my face. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lather up a little bit. It would be no different than if I just took and spread it on my face with my finger, but I just wanted to put it on the brush. So, then I made a little bitty hole in the middle. I'm going to put a little bit of water, not a whole lot, and I'm going to put some Grapefruit enhanced glycerin and my corn huskers with grapefruit in it, and put a little bit more water on top of that. And immediately an unscented cream starts smelling like grapefruit. And I get that worked in. And the lather's still pretty thick. It's not got a lot of water in it, so what do you do when you don't have a lot of water? You add some water. So I'm going to add some more water. And what I have found in doing cold water shaves is that your cream it doesn't loosen up quite as much as it does with hot water, which for me I like, because I like a thick type of leather. I need a little bit more water. But one of the main reasons why I got the Art of Shaving Unscented is to do just exactly this. To have something that I can play with, that I can experiment with, I can add different flavors to. And my theory is that essentially any flavor that I've got in essential oil, I can make a cream. And that's what I can do. And in truth, even though you can put the essential oils in your creams, a lot of the experimenting I've done with creams involved using creams out of the tube, and they are a little bit moister, a little bit runnier. So I think that's part of the reason why there was more runniness to that. That feels pretty good. And one thing about the shovel head razors is in here it holds a lot of water, so you got to shake them out a little bit more. But really, there's no perceptible difference on the face between cold water and hot water and warm water. I'm going to be checking my blade to make sure it stays in place until I get used to what's doing, but it seems like it's doing pretty good. I really like the single edge razors, both the injectors and the gems and the EverReadys and those types, because one of my hardest places to get a shave without getting nicked or irritated or to get close is right here on my chin and down here on my chin. And the shape of a single edge razor just seems to work better in being able to get around those curves. Oh, that smells good. I haven't tried the Tetherville Bond Street Grapefruit, but I can't imagine it being any more potent and fresh than using my grapefruit essential oils and souping up my lather this way. I wish more of the more medium and upper range companies did their soaps in an unscented, a truly unscented. So I'd have more things to play with. Across the grain is up, straight up for me. It's a very comfortable shave. I like this shovel head and a little bit longer handle. I really like the longer handles on the gems and the EverReadies. I like putting my Gem Junior on my valet handle and the handle that I made for my 1912 gem. I really like the way it extends the feel. Seem to be able to get a better angle with a little bit longer handle. I won't go so far as to put ice in my water and make ice water. But if I lived in a much hotter, or if we had a heat wave, I definitely would try it. Grapefruit aroma is still sticking with it. And like I said in the Kurt videos, adding a little bit of glycerin, which is what the Corn Huskers Lotion and Grapefruit glycerin I made. And to make glycerin flavored with essential oils, just add the oil. You can also, use your mentholated glycerin and add a little bit of essential oil to that. Okay. Against the grain for me is sort of up and at an angle. Going out, going up. On my cheeks there's really perceptibly not much there. That's what I like too about the EverReadies and the gems, the single edge razors, is you can hear if it's cutting any whiskers. Like on my cheek, after 2 passes, there's not much. Handle's getting a little loose. Got my little spot down here that swirls around. And there's a little spot right there. And that'll do it. Cold water rinse. Well, it's really a very refreshing type of shave. No different than using warm water, no tuggier. You don't feel it any differently. Just the sensation is it's cool versus being warm or hot. You know, there's the personal preference in that. Some people just like having the warm feeling on their face. Now, if it's cold outside, I very well say phooey on doing a cold water shave. But warm temperatures, go for it. Feels good. That was a nice and smooth shave. I like the razor. And it looks like that post that I made is holding up. I'm wondering if I can find maybe some silver paint or something to paint that a little bit, because this stuff you can paint. You can sand it. It's a marine JB Weld kind of epoxy type stuff. I had a little bit left. I think I'd actually used it to work on a hot tub whenever I had a hot tub that desperately needed repairs. But that concludes it. I've been still playing around with making some lemon aftershave, and this is my most recent. I just made it this evening, so it hadn't had much time to age. And one of the things I think I found with making aftershaves is see if you can find a cheap aftershave as a base, because I've found that things kind of mix together. That's getting awful close. It smells lemony. Smells lemony. I had seen one of the new flavors of aftershave splashes type things at Bed Bath & Beyond. But you know me, I don't like spending the money on things when I can make them myself for a lot cheaper. And I think that was like $35 for, I don't know, 4 ounces, 3 ounces. Plus, this has got some menthol in it, and I do feel it. Feels good. And my trusty Everyman Jack. Like I say, I cannot sing the praises of this any higher. I always put a little bit on after I put my aftershave splash on, and then sometimes I go back over top of it and put a little bit more aftershave splash on. It locks in the menthol, makes your face feel very, very good, and it lasts all day. So that concludes my shave and review. I used a Persona stainless steel gem blade. This is an EverReady 1924 razor with the long handle and the long handle post. My Frank Shaves 28mm Pure Badger brush, glycerin, Corn Huskers Lotion, and Art of Shaving Unscented cream. Thank you for watching. Leave comments. I'll get to them as soon as I can. Be safe, be happy, good shaves. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.